Hello everyone, welcome to UPSC Mains PYQ series, and today we shall be discussing next question from 2024 question paper of geography. So let's start. The question is, what is the phenomena of cloudburst and explain. So see, here the directive is explain. So not only you have to write that how the cloudburst occurs, but you have to provide the reasons also, and you have to write the impacts also, and along with impacts you have to write the solutions also. So in this way, this directive explain can be covered. Okay, so these all things you can tackle. First of all, we will discuss the phenomena, that what is cloudburst and how does it occur. So let's start. See, in cloudburst, basically it's nothing but heavy rainfall that is more than 100 mm in smaller region. Means in very small area, if you receive rainfall of more than 100 mm or 10 centimeter, you can consider it as cloudburst. Okay, so mainly cloudburst happen in mountainous or hilly region. Why in these regions? Because these are only landforms which are very near to the clouds. That's why generally we see that cloudburst happen in mountainous regions. Okay, so to understand this phenomena, first of all, we will understand how the clouds are formed. Okay, so basically how clouds are formed? See, air gets heated up, the moist and warm air gets heated up, the air will rise. Why the air will rise? Because the warm and moist air has become light. Now as the air rises, it cools down. Why it cools down? Because now the air pressure has been reduced, so it cools down, and when it cools down, it converts into water droplets, and when the density of this water droplets becomes very high, it comes down in the form of rainfall, snowfall, hailstorms, etc. Okay, so this is how the formation of clouds work. Okay, now understand the phenomena of cloudburst. So for this, let's take the example of Indian side of Himalayas. Now, see, for example, these are mountains. Okay, and in the summer months of June or July, the air gets heated up. So it becomes warm also, and it becomes moist also. Okay, so these are Himalayas, no? So these are snow-capped mountains. So now the air is warm and moist, and here the mountainous regions are relatively cool. So as you know, air moves from high temperature to low temperature. So the air will move towards the mountains, because here is high temperature and here is low temperature. So this is the movement of air. Now as the air rises, it will cool down. Okay, but this rise is not the simple rise, because as we know, because of convective currents, as the air gets heated up, it rises and eventually it's cooled down because pressure is reducing. But what is happening here, air don't have to travel a lot of distance like this, because here Himalayas are snow-capped mountains and air gets cooled here only. The height is not more than 5 to 6 kilometers, right? So air doesn't have to travel for 10 to 12 kilometers to get cooled down. It cools down at the tip only. It cools down near the snow-capped region only. So what is happening? Air is cooling down, And the important keyword is rapidly. Air is cooling down very rapidly. Okay, so as it cools down, there will be formation of clouds, and if there is formation of clouds, there will be rainfall. Okay, so the side where there is rainfall, it is called windward side. Okay, so now all the moisture is shed. Okay, so the moist air have shed its moisture. Now when it will come this side, it will be dry. And when it will come this side, it will descend. And as the air is descending, the pressure is increasing. So if the pressure is increasing, the air will warm and it will become dry. So there will be no rainfall on this side. So this side we call as leeward side. Okay, so this is the phenomena of cloud burst. That air rises, and no, this type of rainfall we call as orographic rainfall, which is happening because of the mountainous regions. So what is happening here? The air is rising, it is converting into clouds, rainfall is happening on windward side, and dry conditions are on the leeward side. Okay, so this is the thing. Let's take the example of Dharamshala cloud burst. So what happened here? Dharamshala is in the Kangra Valley. Okay. And it is at the windward side of Dhauladhar mountain ranges. Okay. So this is the windward side. So here, as the air rises, it gets converted into clouds and heavy rainfall is received in this area. Okay, so and this heavy rainfall will eventually bring landslides, flash floods, and heavy destruction to life and property. So this is the thing. And what is the main keyword here is that air rises rapidly, gets converted into clouds and falls in the form of rain. Okay, so I think this was the main phenomena, and in the answer you have to discuss the impacts also, and eventually you have to give the solutions also. So solutions you can discuss about the early warning systems, you can discuss about the sensing in the loose mountainous regions. So these all things you can discuss. So now please pause the video for 7 minutes, write your answer, and then we shall be discussing the detailed answer. Okay, so let's start. So see, first of all, you have to define what is cloud burst. So basically, it is 100 mm of rainfall in 1 hour. So it is called cloud burst, and it is in the very small area, that is 20 to 30 kilometers square. Okay, and if you have any other data also, like for example, according to Ministry of Earth Sciences, the incidence of cloud burst have increased. Means in a decade now, 5 to 6 cloud bursts are easily happening. Okay, now coming to consequences. So see, the phenomena we have discussed, how cloud burst is happening. So next we will discuss the consequences. So consequences we have already discussed about the flash floods, because see what is happening. This is mountainous region, and now heavy rainfall is coming. Okay, so rainfall, along with it will bring the soil particles, it will bring other loose particles, the broken trees and plants it will bring. So basically it will result in landslides, and along with, so this was for the landslide. Now for the flash floods, we can say that because of the heavy rainfall, it can breach the banks of river. So it can result into dam failure also. So here we can say the flash floods. Okay, and third thing we can discuss about the communicable diseases also, all the waterborne disease like cholera, typhoid. Okay, and especially these conditions will be more in the low-lying regions. Okay, for example, when the Brahmaputra river brings floods in the Assam Valley, so same thing is happening. Coming to casualties and property damage. So it is very obvious thing, that no, all the infrastructure, all the life will be damaged because no infrastructure like rails, roadways, the communication lines, the houses and other properties will be damaged. So see, you have to write the examples also. So the Dharamshala cloud burst, the cloud burst in Kulu Valley and other cloud burst you have to mention as examples. Now coming to the solutions. So see, solutions, as we already discussed, early warning system, that you have to get the prior information to deal with the disaster. So for also early warning system for this. And for any disaster, you can discuss the structural and non-structural solutions. Structural means, for example, if this is mountain and here rocks are very loose, then you have to create a proper fencing so that these rocks do not fall on the roadside and it don't bring the conditions of landslide. So this can be structural. Non-structural I am talking, so you you can do afforestation, because see, if trees are there, so because of trees the soil don't become loose, and if the soil is not loose it can't easily fall near the valleys. So afforestation can be the non-structural solution. One of the non-structural solution is the zoning of land. For example, this is river valley. So in land zoning, the construction must not be allowed very near the floodplains. Okay, so these conditions you can easily avoid. The disaster you can easily avoid. Okay, so these were some of the solutions. Now coming to the conclusion. So in conclusion, basically you can write that there is need for the sensitization in the community. The community must use its local knowledge for the disaster prevention. Okay, and there must be deployment of multiple Doppler weather radars. So see, if we have very good Doppler weather radars, so it can analyze the situation in horizontal as well as in vertical direction. So it can analyze that what is the speed of rainfall, what is the form of precipitation, whether it is rainfall or it is snowfall or any other form. It can also sense that what is the frequency of rainfall and whether the rainfall is towards the radar or away from the radar. So you can analyze the whole situation, that how much time do we have for the disaster preparedness. So these all with these all solutions you can conclude your answer. So I think that's all for this question. Thank you.